Hello people, how are you doing today? My name is Makeda Voletta, also known as the Body Scientist. And I'm live on my IG page, waiting for people to come on. In case you are unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. And, I'm currently also a graduate student in medical cannabis science and therapeutics. Okay, so I'm saying all that to say, to sum up my background, I have a holistic approach to the body and the function of the body. I am also a doula. I'm a sacred sexual educator. I'm a dancer. So I do a bunch of things that have to do with the body performing at its highest level. Okay. And so today I want to have a conversation about hormones, sex hormones in particular, testosterone mostly, okay? I want to have a conversation about testosterone, its effects on men, its effects on women, and just, being balanced out, testosterone, okay? We're going to have a testosterone conversation. Some of you may be familiar with videos that I've done in the past or classes that I've taught in the past. I had a class for men called Kundalini strength training and a class for women called sensual strength training, okay? And this course has many components to it. One component is teaching men and women how to strength train correctly, okay? Because whether you're a man or a woman, it's important to strength train, especially as you age, to keep you lean body mass, okay? To keep your body together, functioning right. Then the second component was dances from the African diaspora, particularly in the Americas, that involved intense hip movements, okay? We store a lot of trauma in our hips, especially women. Moving the hips helps to move that Kundalini energy. Most of our blood supply runs through our hips. And for women who give birth, it's important to be able to connect to the hips for childbirth and stuff. Then the third component was exercises for the muscles that support our sexual organs. So those exercises are different for men than they do for women. But in men or women, it's important to exercise your muscles, all your muscles, or they will atrophy. Like I wear glasses, right? There are ways to strengthen the muscles in the eyes so that you don't have to wear glasses anymore. I haven't embarked on that, but that is a thing. Because when you're wearing glasses, the muscles in your eyes don't have to work to focus anymore. And so it can make your eyesight progressively worse, right? Especially contacts as well. So any muscles in the body, if they're not exercised, they will atrophy. If you don't use it, you will lose it, okay? So those are, I had versions, I haven't taught them in a while. I'm actually rebooting my Kundalini strength training class for men, but it's going to be an online class. But there's also hormonal, we have strength training affects our hormones. How we move our bodies and what we do with our bodies affects our hormones. Hormonal balance is extremely important, right? Nutrition also affects our hormones. So I'm going to have a conversation about testosterone, okay? Because first of all, the more muscle a person has, the more testosterone their body produces, okay? This is one of the reasons why men tend to have higher testosterone than women. Also, men are men. It's a male organism, functions differently. But men usually, as a general statement, do have a lot more muscle than women, right? But the more testosterone, whether you're male or female, the more muscle somebody has, the more testosterone their body produces, okay? When we engage in strength and power activities, it increases our testosterone. That's in men and women. Increases in testosterone, one of the things that it does is drives our sex drive. It desires our, not just our desire for sex, but it increased testosterone drives our sex-seeking behaviors, okay? So a man or a woman with a boost of high testosterone is more likely to be actively seeking sex, okay? Testosterone can also, in men, and this could be the case in women too, but I definitely know in men, competition increases testosterone, okay? So a man who is actively competing, okay, I don't know that, I'm not 100% sure that it has that effect on women, but it definitely has that effect on men, where increased testosterone increases your desire to compete, okay? Or competition increases your testosterone, okay? So if you're engaging in competitive activities, it increases your testosterone, which is interesting too, because, you know, I told you my degrees in sports science. And you look at like power athletes. Let's look at male power athletes. Let's look at football players, basketball players, and how one of my really good male friends, he always calls them cavemen. He always says they're cavemen because he says that because of the fact that you'll have like professional athletes who are testosterone. Okay, testosterone pellets are good support. I don't know what that is. But he'll say that like you'll see like basketball players who like they all date the same chick, or like one it's like you'll see one chick who's dated all these basketball players, and it's not, people think, oh, the woman is trying to date these dudes. No, a lot of times these dudes coming out these women, it's like my friend calls it caveman behavior, where it's like they like get turned on by going after their teammate's girl or some chick that's been with other basketball or football players, because I don't know if they have this conquer mentality. I don't know what it is, but it could be the fact that they are not only participating in a high level of power sports, which is going to increase your testosterone, but then you're competing, that increases your testosterone, right? So the thing is that according to, you know, certain studies, it has been shown that testosterone is not related to aggression in men, as was previously believed. It used to be believed that, you know, high levels of testosterone makes men really aggressive. And there have been many studies that have been done that have shown that not necessarily does it make men aggressive, but high levels of testosterone does make a man more generous, particularly in the presence of women, right? So it was always very interesting to me how women affect men's behavior. But a man with high testosterone, in the presence of women, that man is more likely to be more generous, right? Let me see. Testosterone has been shown to reduce trust in competition, which makes sense because, again, testosterone makes you more competitive. So if you're competing, you're not going to trust the people that you're competing against or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because you're in straight competition mode, right? Testosterone has shown to boost reciprocity, okay, as well. Testosterone is fat soluble, all right? So that means it can get into the cells, because all of our cells have a lipid bilayer, which means there's a layer of fat that surrounds all of our cells. And in order to get into the cell, you know, it has to be fat soluble, or it needs to bind to a receptor, a protein receptor, and go through this whole biochemical pathway to get in the cell. Testosterone is fat soluble, so it easily gets into the cell and evokes change, right? Testosterone is made from a cholesterol backbone. All of our sex hormones and all of our stress hormones are made from a cholesterol backbone, meaning it's made from cholesterol. Also meaning that if you don't consume enough cholesterol, you definitely can have low testosterone and other hormonal issues, okay? You know, women have hormonal issues. All of our sex hormones and our stress hormones are made from cholesterol, all right? So cholesterol is really, really important for the production of our hormones. Vitamin D, which is also a hormone, technically. Vitamin D is not even a vitamin, okay? Vitamin stands for vital amine. That's not even what it is chemically. It's actually a hormone. And vitamin D is also made from a cholesterol backbone. I have videos where I talk about vitamin D more in depth. I talk about how even if you're getting vitamin D from the sun, you need cholesterol in your blood. Vitamin D is absolutely made from cholesterol, right? So for men who are trying to keep their testosterone up, you need to be eating eggs and steak, okay, and raw dairy and stuff that's high in cholesterol. Which is also why you see that when a lot of men get put on cholesterol-lowering medications, they end up having erection problems and libido issues, because blocking cholesterol is going to block your body's ability to even make testosterone, okay? Testosterone is produced by the testes and sometimes the adrenals. Estrogen is produced by the ovaries. You can't hear me. Okay. Somebody else tell me if you can hear me, because somebody just told me they can't hear me, and I don't want to keep talking if you guys can't hear me. So I'm going to wait. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I guess people can hear me because people are asking me questions. So please, somebody just let me know if you can hear me. But a good source of cholesterol, okay, thank you for letting me know. Thank you guys. Thank you. Cholesterol is only in animal foods, okay? There's no cholesterol in plant foods at all. So a good source of cholesterol, animal foods, okay? Seafood is extremely high in cholesterol, especially shellfish, red meat, organ meats like liver, egg yolks, eggs, particularly the egg yolks, raw dairy, cheeses, milks, all of that is high in cholesterol, okay? Butter, animal fats, all right? Let me see. Okay, testosterone and estradiol, which estrogen is made from that. They both play a huge role in bone health, bone strength, and bone health. And during the first few weeks of pregnancy, testosterone causes the ring fingers, okay, the ring fingers on men to grow longer than the index finger. In women, it is mostly the other way around. Now, the thing that's interesting about that, okay, it says that in men during the first few weeks of pregnancy, testosterone causes the ring finger on men to grow longer than the index finger. Well, if you look at me, my ring finger is longer than my index finger, right? But the thing is, I have a twin brother. Okay, I was in a womb with a boy. Okay, I'm all woman for sure, but I was in a womb with a boy, and so I'm 5'8". My twin brother is 6'2". Okay, he's a lot bigger than me, so I was in the womb with him, and so that testosterone probably affected me, which is why my fingers might be like this. Okay. Also, high visceral fat can lead to insulin resistance. So a lot of fat, like in the stomach, and that can lead to insulin resistance and decreased testosterone. So for men, it's definitely, for so many reasons, not a good thing to be having a whole bunch of fat around your stomach and just a whole padding of fat. We want to get the body fat at a healthy place. And if you don't understand about body fat percentage, definitely check out my YouTube videos about body fat percentage versus BMI. I am not talking about BMI. BMI is an inaccurate measurement completely. It means nothing. Do not pay attention to the BMI. It is your body fat percentage. And I have a video where I explain that, okay? I will, on my YouTube page, I'll post it below. Okay, if you're on Instagram, it's actually on my Instagram page, or you can go to my YouTube page, The Body Scientist 81, and type in body fat versus BMI, you'll find the video, okay? So you want to get your body fat percentage in a good place, because having too much visceral fat will cause low testosterone, okay? Because again, what did I say? The more muscle you have, the more testosterone your body produces, okay? Now, cortisol blocks testosterone receptors, okay? Now, we know that we have an increase in cortisol when we're stressed. Like chronic stress, being highly stressed, it increases cortisol. Cortisol blocks the testosterone receptors. And research shows that when cortisol is high, testosterone does not equate to the dominant personality traits that is associated with testosterone. So when a man has high cortisol, even if his testosterone levels are high, he doesn't exhibit this dominance, dominant competitive behavior that is usually seen in men with high testosterone. Now, let me say that even when a man has high testosterone, if his estrogen levels are too low, that also is not a good thing. The high testosterone does not have the same effect on the man in terms of, sex-seeking behaviors and their competitive behavior and that just male prowess behavior. If the man has no estrogen at all, then that's a dud, okay? Men and women both have estrogen and testosterone. It's just that men always have way more testosterone than estrogen. Women always have way more estrogen than testosterone. But still, where those levels are within a woman and within a man affects our behavior, our sexual, our sexual desires and function, all right? When cortisol levels are low, testosterone has an effect on men that makes them exert dominance, okay? And the thing is that, like, let's say working out or lifting weights, it helps to reduce stress, right? So again, we think about, like I was talking about, like these athletes. You have like football players who all they do is train with rah, 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 like all this crazy, like super hyped up testosterone. Doing all that stuff is going to make your sex drive go up, 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 okay? Depression, lack of energy, and low libido are linked to low testosterone. Testosterone is literally linked with dopamine. So more dopamine means more testosterone. Now, when we win something, competing is one thing, right? Testosterone levels go up when we engage in competition. But when we win a competition, that increases dopamine. Dopamine increases testosterone. They go hand in hand. When dopamine is high, testosterone is high, vice versa, right? So winning competitions increases your testosterone. Competing in competitions increases your testosterone, but winning even more so. Yeah, estrogen is needed for high testosterone to be effective. I already said that. Estrogen increases sexual receptivity in women. So, oh my God, now I'm getting really hungry all of a sudden. Making my mouth water. So as I said, increased testosterone in men and women increases sex-seeking behaviors. That's true in women too. And studies have shown that right before women ovulate, because it's known that when women ovulate, they a lot of times will make different sexual decisions. Okay, this is just science. Okay, we are animals. We have what's politically correct, but then we have the truth. And studies show that when women are ovulating, a lot of times, like, who they mate with is not even the same as who they mate with when they're not ovulating. And a lot of times when women are ovulating, they want the biggest, strongest dude, right? And right before a woman ovulates, our testosterone levels peak really high. So that could explain that. But estrogen makes a woman more receptive to sex, okay? So testosterone makes a woman seek it more, have like actual behaviors of seeking it. Estrogen helps a woman be more receptive, which we need to be, okay? And how do we increase estrogen? Well, in a woman, estrogen is increased from orgasm, from moving the hips, okay? So I told you what my class was a lot of, hip moving, belly dancing, those kind of sensual movements helps to increase estrogen in a person, in a woman, okay? So that's why when I talk about my sensual strength training class, part of it is strength training for women, where women strength train, their testosterone levels increase. That will increase their desire for sex. That will increase their sex-seeking behaviors, actually seeking it out and being proactive. But then if the woman dances and moving her hips, that helps increase her receptivity for it, okay? Yep. Competing increases testosterone and pain tolerance, and intolerance for pain and discomfort, which I already said. Ejaculation increases prolactin, which increases the refractory period for men. So when men ejaculate, something called the refractory period, which is the amount of time that's needed for a man to fully recover so he can get an erection again and perform again and orgasm again, okay? So different men need different amounts of time. Some men may need hours or tomorrow. There are men who can ejaculate and 3 minutes later they can keep going. And sometimes it depends on how turned on the man is. Because the more turned on a man is, and when men see visuals of something that really turns them on, science has shown that when men see visuals of young, beautiful women, that increases their testosterone, especially as they're aging. So there are practices in certain cultures where as men were aging, they would be around young, beautiful women because it kept their testosterone levels up. One of the places that I saw that at was in, there's a book called Sex at Dawn. Oh, damn, the book was right next to me, but I don't have it. There's a book called Sex at Dawn. It was a New York Times bestseller for years. It's the best book ever written on human sexuality. If you really want the raw truth on human sexuality, read that book, Sex at Dawn. There's no other book like it. But one of the things in that book, they were talking about some Polynesian island where they were telling the documentarians, the people who were documenting, they were talking about how before they were colonized, they had this practice of having the older men in the community be around young, beautiful women to keep their testosterone up. And ever since they were colonized and that practice was shunned, the older men would have a lot more health problems than they did before, okay? So, now, sex itself increases testosterone, and that's in men and women. Also, it's been shown that when men don't have, like if a man ejaculates one day and he doesn't have sex for a few days, that will make his, I won't even say doesn't have sex. Let me say he doesn't ejaculate for a few days, because sometimes a man can have sex and not ejaculate. But let's say he doesn't ejaculate for a few days. That helps to increase his testosterone as well. And yeah, so there's a lot more to say. I'm going to take the rest of this conversation onto my OnlyFans page. So if you want more of this information on testosterone, how it affects the body, the sex drive, all of this stuff, definitely you can join me at onlyfans.com/thebodyscientist. I'll be discussing it more in depth. But just understand that like testosterone, estrogen, like that hormone balance is important for men and women. And this is why it's important for men and women to keep our body fats down, to strength train, especially as we age, okay? And our sexual health and our libido also is related to our general health. When people have no sex drive, like when people get sick, when someone is chronically ill, a lot of times they lose their desire for sex. That's like a normal thing, right? So like having a desire for sex or having a healthy sex life where you're having pleasurable sex or you're having orgasms is important for your overall health, for your mental health, for your physiology and how things work. So it's all kind of interrelated, okay? So yeah, I mean, I probably should bring back around my sensual strength training class, because I felt like a lot of women didn't understand the importance of strength training, and that's important for women. And a lot of women have orgasms in the gym when they're working out, okay, because it's doing that. You know, it's the testosterone, sometimes it's the exercises that women are doing. And let me say that the biggest muscles in the body are in the lower extremities. So you get the biggest testosterone boost when we work our legs. Okay, doing squats and deadlifts and lunges and, you know, weighted lower body stuff is going to increase your testosterone levels more than upper body, even though upper body will as well. But the lower body is critical because the biggest muscles in our body are in our lower extremities. So when we work those muscles, it really increases our testosterone, okay? It really increases the desire for sex-seeking behaviors. All right, so I'm going to leave that at that. You know, I would say for men who are having testosterone issues, definitely look at your diet. You know, you need to be on a high cholesterol diet, and you need to be strength training, okay? And for women who are having hormonal issues, also look at your diet. You know, are you eating too much salad? You know, are you eating enough eggs and dairy? And when I say dairy, I'm talking about good quality dairy, like grass-fed raw milk and cheeses and sour cream, or red meat, liver, eggs. Are you eating enough of those things, okay? So if you like this video, please like it, please share it, please follow me on Instagram, please follow me on YouTube. And that's that. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow whenever I make another video. Have a great day. I hope this is helpful, and bye.